everybody? It's your girl, Famous Nobodies, coming to you live from home. Today, I would really like to talk about a very sensitive subject. It's something that I did not consider ever before sharing or making public knowledge because it is my own personal information, and sharing this sensitive subject sometimes can be judged harshly. But if you want to come here and find real life situations, real information, then I'm here for that. So today I'm talking about pregnancy depression. It's not something to be taken lightly. It's something that you need to evaluate and you need to deal with directly, because your loved ones, your friends, they can sometimes assume that being overly assertive because they feel like your sadness is their top priority to manage, it it can do the reverse. And I actually got the nudge to do this post today because when I woke up this morning, I had the most intense attack of manic depression. And to help you understand where I'm coming from, when I was 12, I was diagnosed with manic depression. I was battling a lot of issues, my upbringing, my environment that I was living in at that time, and not having had a proper childhood. So there was a lot for me to understand about myself going forward just based on that diagnosis, which I thought was fraudulent at best because I'm like, I'm 12. You don't get depression at 12. You get upset or you get angry about things and you tuck that shit down into the pit of your stomach and then you just move on with life, which is something that the medical field would applaud me for much later in life. As they say, you're almost a medical anomaly, the way that you get through all of these different traumatic circumstances. Your brain is so powerful, but it can also be your undoing. And I had to agree with one doctor's definition of manic depression, which he says he definitely doesn't feel that bipolar and manic depression should ever be diagnosed as the same thing. Like they have similarities, but they clinically just show a lot of variable differences. With mine, if I'm manic in a good way, I'm spending a whole lot of money. I'm not saving, I'm not being responsible, or I can be manic downward, which is I start having repeated thoughts of everything that I've experienced from childhood to now, And instead of reflecting on the good things, the negative experiences are beginning to be highlighted. And it's a feeling that you can't really shake. And it's in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm pregnant. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to feel angry and upset about things that are out of my control, or double back to thinking about stuff that's happened to me in the past when I'm like way past that. But that's the thing with manic depression. When it's a downward spiral, it's the unraveling of your emotions. It's literally, I don't know if you've ever played this game in an arcade. It gives you about 9 holes, and the little mole pops up, and you hit it on the head with the hammer, and it goes back down. That's what a manic depression episode feels like. You're just trying to beat those emotions and suppress those emotions and hoping that they just go back underground and stay there. Okay? So crazy. I was out and about on 2 different store runs, and I happened to run into a good family friend, a longtime family friend, who actually volunteered that they themselves were experiencing depression. And that wasn't even the initial conversation that we had began talking about, but they dove deeper into how they were doing their best to just sleep it off, and that the medication that they were taking was causing them to just feel out of it, and to the point that they were neglecting a lot of their responsibilities. And so today that really hit home, and I felt like that was an intervention directly from God, because he was trying to show me, you're not the only person going through it, but this is somebody that you can also help by letting them know you're experiencing bouts of depression too, even though you're pregnant. And just having that conversation and speaking words of positivity, and telling each other, we got this, we got this, we just have to take it one day at a time. Like, speaking those kind of positive affirmations into a situation where you feel absolutely hopeless does give you life, does give you purpose. Because like I said, this is a very sensitive subject for me to discuss. Not even a lot of my family and friends understand what my manic depression is. I think people are quick to say, oh, but I have schizophrenia. Oh, I have bipolar disorder. Oh, I have this disorder. And my thing is, everybody who has a disability, whether it be mental or physical, everyone's diagnosis is important. I'm not here to disregard or imply that anyone's condition is less or more important. But I will say there are a lot of people in the world who are mismanaging their symptoms of depression and anxiety by simply overindulging in their diagnosis. And you can overindulge in it by simply focusing too much of your energy on it. Like, oh, I have this mental condition, and I need to be known for having this mental condition. No, it's different to bring awareness to people. And there's a difference in using it as a disability. The whole world, if you ask me, is suffering from a mental disability in some shape or form. And I don't mean that to be rude or inconsiderate. I mean that literally. There's not one healthy person in this world that doesn't have some form of anxiety or depression. It is important that we make note of it and that we pay attention to the symptoms, Me being pregnant, this is the most scariest time for me to be experiencing problems. And I could not feel more distant from the father of my child if I tried. I feel not angry with him, but I don't feel the need to have that shared closeness or bond with him. And it's a really crappy feeling because it's not what I want to feel. You know, I want to have a good, great parental shared relationship regardless of what the outside world depicts, or outside of some like Disney story. No, I'm not here for that. I'm a competent, independent, loving, kind, humble woman who is going to succeed in life either way. But having manic depression has controlled my life in certain aspects only because I unintentionally involve myself in certain relationships with friends and family that turn to be toxic. And the problem, I have to say, is because I recognize those triggers a long time ahead. I see that person, that family member, or that friend, or that romantic partner doing something that triggers me. And instead of me confronting it and saying that does not feel good to me, I'm putting myself in a school teacher position to where I'm trying to dolly everything up and have this great happy response to everything. And on the back half, it's like a buildup, like a volcano. You know, the scientists have been telling me for a long time, and the scientists in this analogy are the doctors. They've been telling me for a long time, stop doing this. Avoid this type of person. Avoid this type of environment. You need to talk about it. You need to get it out, or it's going to erupt. And the one thing, the last time I talked to a doctor, an actual panel of doctors about my manic depression was probably when I was 25. Um, in this one experience, they said that they wanted me to be hypnotized. And I said no, I refused. When the doctor that was handling my case came to me, he said, I agree with you 110%. You should not have been hypnotized. For one, you should be immensely proud of yourself. For some reason, you have been able to manage your manic depression all on your own. And considering the enormous amounts of traumatic situations that you've experienced, just looking at you, a person would not know that you've been through as much as you've been through. And I'm impressed. But you should only take the medication to, what did he say? Take the medication to, suppress your symptoms and help you get to a healthy place. But I don't recommend that you just take them just to be taking them, because a lot of patients come in and they assume that because they've been taking this one medication for an entire year, that it's supposed to erase all of their problems. And then they come in, they complain, and then they get a different medication. That medication is too strong or it's not giving them a desired effect. And before you know it, you're dependent on all of these different pills. So he actually diagnosed me a medication that was on the black market. I can't really remember what the name of it is to this day, but the last time I took any kind of form of medication, I was about 25. I'm 36 and I'll be 37 this year. So I've been 11 years free of taking any kind of antidepressants or anything. Um, Even though I know that I'm having a case of manic depression during this pregnancy right now, tomorrow I'll be 17 weeks, 23 more weeks to go. I don't want to take anything for it because I know that taking antidepressants can affect the mother and the child. It might help the mother, but it might affect the child. And I don't know in what kind of way. I just have to work myself through it. I'm glad that I built up the courage to talk about it today. Um, it it does not feel good. I could feel like a tall glass of water that feels like tears just building up inside of my head. I feel sad right now. And I know that that's not me. But my hormones are telling me you're going through it. And I probably am. That plus being pregnant. So um and it's sad because I want to be happy. I want to be happy. I'm having another baby. Today was my son's last day of school, high school for summer. Next year he's a senior. He'll be graduating. And I have so many changes that are just coming up, and I want to be more joyous about this occasion. It looks like I'm just really going to have to get back into not want to say vigorous, that's not the wrong word, but get back to really doing more walks, more nature walks, more I don't like to be out in the sun too much during the summer because I do live in Texas and it's extremely hot out here. It's not like California where I'm originally from, Los Angeles. This is like that scorching heat, mosquitoes, and ain't nobody got time for that. I do have a pool, so I think I'm definitely gonna exercise, going swimming this Sunday, go get in the water. I am definitely learning how to spend more time with myself, how to go to the movies by myself, how to go and sit down in nice restaurants by myself. Just learning how to do a lot more self care. As a single mom, I've learned that placing all your bets on a relationship that can go either way, it's not very healthy. And I know you're like, some people like, oh, you, that's why you need to be married. And that's why everybody has their own idea of what's going to work for them, ideally for their lives. I'm not here to condemn anybody. I'm happy. If you've been in a relationship 18 years, that's great. That's wonderful. I'm not wishing the opposite. If you're a single parent, if your dream of being a parent hasn't come true, or maybe you're barren, you don't have any kids, there's so many kids in the world that need love. Don't let anything hold you back or anyone. I'm not here to discriminate or talk bad about anybody in my life. I just know that this subject of depression during pregnancy is an important one. I know that there are so many women who probably just feel alien from their baby. And it's like, no, I'm happy. I'm happy, but I don't feel connected to this pregnancy. I feel depressed. And I don't think about negative thoughts like, oh, I don't want this baby, or why am I doing this? No, I don't have any discouraging thoughts in that way. Instead, like I said before, it's an unraveling of emotions that are tied to a very long ago past. And I have to remind myself daily that there is nothing that I can do about that. So tonight I cut up 2 lemons and have a great vanilla smelling candle. I'm going to run some nice water, pour some sea salt, put my lemons in my water, and just really just soak and try to relax. Get out, read my positive affirmations book, and tomorrow I have errands to run, and then it's going to be a very busy weekend for me. So I'm going to get my work on and try to relax as much as possible. I really, 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 really hope that June and July are better months for me, because I'm not sure how long it'll take for my manic depression symptoms to actually leave and go away. You know what I mean? Um, 'Cause there's no medication for me, you know? I hope that my mother and my son can bear with me in the meantime, because I love them and everything I do is for them. My daughter is very supportive. She calls me, she'll come and see me when she's not working, and you know, I'm always the head of the household where I'm taking on all this responsibility, and sometimes I forget to take good care of myself. And that's the bottom line. And that's probably another reason that those symptoms creep up too. I have never really been on, I want to say, of like a valid vacation to get out of the house and do something for myself. Like literally, like get out of town. And so, because my birthday is August 29th, I was actually thinking about doing something like that for myself, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm moving this year, moving into a new place, so I might just pour all my energy into that, and then who knows. But my baby is due November 5th, so either I can wait and go on a trip, wait and do a New Year's Eve trip. I was thinking about that, treating myself to a New Year's Eve trip, because then my baby will be like a month old. She'll be old enough, like for me, to feel comfortable. I mean, that's really, really young, you know. But my mom is here, and I don't really know. I don't know. I'm just funny about people watching my children. I'm just like that. I'm sorry. I've always been that way. I'm going to always remain that way. I know good people, but I don't trust anybody to parent as well as I do. You have to be one hell of a person for me to consider. So that's the reason that I was actually thinking about doing something and taking a little mini vacation right now while I'm pregnant and don't have that responsibility weighing in on me so much. But we'll see. We'll see. But I know that I need that. I need to be in an environment that is happy. I wish I had more hobbies. Right now, I don't have any active hobbies, and I think that's probably contributing to this too. You know, I don't really do much. I work, I come home, I make sure that my household is taken care of, bills are paid. But I would love to go to the opera. I would love to go to the museum. I would love to even go to Lamont's class at this point. I would just, you know, anything would probably help just to keep my mind focused. But yeah, back to work tomorrow. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who possibly have come here and just listened. I hope what you take away from this is just that you're not going crazy, you're pregnant, you're hormonal, but we that have been experiencing and battling with depression for quite some time, we understand what those symptoms are, and they're very, very different and distinct from having anxiety attacks. So if you're feeling like that, take care of yourself, get in touch with your doctor, come up with a plan that works best for you. And if you have any questions regarding depression, pregnancy issues, or other life matters, please feel free to ask. Like, subscribe, and comment. It's your girl Famous, and I'll catch you all later, okay? Bye.